From the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
New data about the race and ethnicity of those who are receiving the COVID-19 vaccine in Henrico. We'll have that information coming up on today's Henrico News Minute. It's Thursday, February 18th, 2021. It's brought to you today by Henrico County.
And now for the news.
Well, the winter weather has made this a snow day for most Henrico County employees and all students. The school system is closed along with general government offices. There's no trash collection by the county today, and county libraries and public use areas also are closed. The county's health district also called off planned mass vaccination events at Richmond Raceway for today and tomorrow. Now, at those events, some Henrico educators were scheduled to receive their second doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Some of them will be rescheduled for next Monday and Tuesday. That could throw a little bit of a monkey wrench into the plans that the Henrico School Board outlined when it set a date for a return to school of Monday. Next week and the following week, classes will be held in person for those students who chose to return that way only on Mondays and Tuesdays. That was originally designed to allow teachers and other school officials to receive their second doses during the mass vaccination events that will take place Wednesday through Friday at the Raceway. The idea was that way teachers would not have to teach in person if they suffered any ill effects from the second vaccine dose. They could stay home. But now some are likely to have that second dose on Monday, which could keep them out of school Tuesday if they have any side effects. New data released yesterday by the Richmond and Henrico health districts shows that officials have a little better sense now about the race or ethnicity of the Henricoans who have been vaccinated than they did 2 weeks ago. The data shows that nearly 75% of the 55,000 county residents who had received at least one dose of vaccine by Tuesday have now reported their race. 2 weeks ago, only about 61% of those vaccinated in the county had done so. As more of those folks report their race, the percentages of those who have received the vaccine, grouped in one of 6 racial classifications, all have naturally increased. The largest increase was among whites, whose totals jumped from about 42% of those who gave a race 2 weeks ago to nearly 50% this week among people for whom race was identified. That's almost equal to Henrico's overall percentage of whites, about 53.7%. Now, 2 weeks ago, only 11% of those who reported their race were black and just 1.8% were Latino. On Tuesday, those numbers had risen slightly to 14.1% and 2% respectively. But blacks and Latinos make up nearly 35% of the county's population, so they still appear to be vastly underrepresented in vaccination data. Health district officials have been working to proactively reach more black and Latino communities. They've prioritized seniors 65 and older based in part upon race, and also proactively they've inoculated residents of independent senior living facilities, with those served by Medicare prioritized first. They've also held vaccination events at local churches with predominantly minority congregations. But among those 65 and older so far, the same disproportionate levels exist. Whites account for about 2/3 of the county's senior population, and they compose just more than 60% of those vaccinated who reported their race. Blacks compose about 1/4 of the senior population, but account for just 12.4% of vaccine doses to those who have reported race. It's unclear whether the vaccination numbers are lower for blacks and Latinos primarily because those groups are more likely to be hesitant about being vaccinated, or because whites represent a higher percentage of the groups of frontline workers who have been vaccinated so far. Among age groups, nearly 8,800 Henricoans in their 50s have been vaccinated by Tuesday. That's the most in any group, but just slightly. People in their 30s accounted for nearly 8,500 vaccine recipients, followed by those in their 80s and 60s, each of which had just more than 8,300 people. Women have been vaccinated more frequently than men in Henrico at a rate of nearly 2 to 1, according to the data. Governor Ralph Northam signed emergency legislation that will allow dentists and other healthcare professionals and some medical students to administer COVID-19 vaccines. It becomes law immediately. The bill in the Senate was sponsored by Henrico Senator Shaban Donovan and in the House by Henrico Delegate Lamont Bagby. It will permit any qualified and available healthcare provider in the state to administer the vaccine. The Virginia Dental Association says many dentists statewide have already been preparing to do so. The association represents more than 3,900 member dentists. Yesterday was the first day this week that Henrico has reported more than 100 cases of COVID-19. It was 126 yesterday. The 7-day moving daily average is now 105. There were also 7 new hospitalizations related to the virus reported in the county. But the county's positivity percentage over a 7-day period continues to decrease. It was 8.9% for PCR tests and down to 6.8% among rapid tests. Also, yesterday, Governor Ralph Northam announced the state's new COVID-19 call center had opened. You can call 1-877-VAX-IN-VA to pre-register for the COVID-19 vaccine or ask questions in English, Spanish, or any of 100 languages. On Tuesday, the state unveiled its new statewide pre-registration site, vaccinate.virginia.gov. St. Joseph's Villa officials announced on Wednesday that the Villa had raised more than $30.6 million during its 5-year Rise Up campaign for capital improvements and program operations. It had sought to raise $25 million through the campaign to address its efforts in mental health, housing, and autism education. The fundraising campaign was the largest ever undertaken by the organization since its 1834 founding. The focal point of the campaign, a $9.5 million renovation of the Villa's school into a state-of-the-art center for autism, will begin welcoming students and community partners this year. Mark your calendars if you have students in middle school or high school for next Tuesday night, February 23rd. Henrico School's Department of Workforce and Career Development will host another one of its Life Ready Expo events from 6 to 7:30 that night virtually. This one will involve industrial and engineering technology employers who will talk to students and their families and give them a chance to learn about the industries and possible careers. You can learn more and find a link to the event at our website, henricocitizen.com, by clicking on News and then Education. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Henrico County's Broadband Survey. Henrico County is gathering information about internet access and speed in various locations throughout the county and needs your help. You can visit speedtest.henrico.us to participate.